Hello and welcome to the Gonzales Mitchell Show. I'm Clay Mitchell.
And I'm Patrick Gonzales.
And Patrick, I'm in no mood today to be lighthearted about anything. Uh, Over the past, especially week, it's been going
I
on
hear
for
you,
about a
man.
month. This stuff, for lack of a better word, about these drones, it's funny anymore. It's not amusing, and people are scared. And this administration, I don't think takes it seriously. What really burned my barn the other day. I saw the NSC director, John Kirby, on television. And dude, he said 5,000 words and didn't say a dang thing. He really didn't. He vacillated back and forth
Oh, I
saying,
heard it.
oh, there's no evidence that this is a public safety threat. That didn't make me comfortable. No evidence of, there's no definitive statement. He's the national
The
security
only
director. Go ahead.
he is a mouthpiece, and not even a very good one. I mean, do these people have no self-awareness, no self-respect? And I think the answer is no. There is one thing that human beings hate more than anything, and that is being lied to and being treated like they're stupid. These stories going out, one of their angles to cover this is, oh, people are just seeing manned aircraft and getting confused. And oh, there's nothing to worry about. We don't have a clue what it is, but we know it's not a foreign actor. I mean, do they think we're that stupid? And the Democratic Party for 10 years has the answer is yes, they have thought that we are that stupid.
I want to, for the purposes of this discussion, distinguish between the state Democratic Party and the national Democratic Party, which I think is in
Oh,
total
absolutely.
disarray. Total
Oh,
disarray.
absolutely.
Uh, I'm
Yep.
going to tell the other thing that really angered me. My son and his wife are moving to New Jersey. They went up to see the construction on their place, and he called me up. He said, "Dad, they're everywhere. They're flying low. You can hear it sort of hum along. It's not an aircraft engine because you could tell when a propeller flies by or a jet engine flies by." And he sent me a video, and I gotta tell you, uh, if they were flying, I live on Kent Island. If they were two, 3 dozen of them flying over Kent Island, I would be really ticked and screaming at the top of my lungs at my congressman, my senator, everybody. What's going on here, brother? I don't get it.
Clay, he didn't. He right. Clay, he didn't see that. And what he
Uh,
sent you, you didn't see that. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong. I mean, I don't know how many other ways I can say it. Your eyes. Don't you never believe your own lying eyes ever again, because you're just wrong. And I'm here from the federal government, and I'm here to help you. But
Jeez.
no, you are just wrong. You are just wrong. That's it.
I,
You're not
I
seeing what
heard
you're seeing.
I heard the statement the other day by one of the officials. There's no public security threat, no evidence of it at this time. Wow, I feel better.
At what
So,
about 10 minutes from now?
yeah, it's Secretary Mayorkas made a statement the other day, and it's like he's in charge of the border. It's like I don't think we have the authority to shoot these things down. Jiminy Christmas! Stop telling me what you can't do, and tell me what you can do, and tell me what you know. I don't want to hear that if there's some nefarious drones or aircraft coming over, that you're not going to act because you believe you don't have the authority to do it. I think the president does. But then again,
I,
I think since the debate this summer, we see where that's going. I'm sorry. I am angry. I
no,
have never seen a lame
I'm
duck
not.
period like this in my life. And I go back to the 60s, brother. I have never seen
I,
this kind of behavior.
well, I go back to '39 when Orson Welles and I did the War of the Worlds thing in New Jersey, ironically enough. But I'll tell you one
Interesting.
thing. I don't. I don't know how much more our homeland can handle being protected by Alejandro Mayorkas. I mean, if nothing else, For that reason alone, January 20th cannot come soon enough. That is the most incompetent, inept doofus I have ever seen. He is in charge of Homeland Security. Oh, please.
It does not engender confidence. I got to tell you, and when he's on, you can tell. Here's a couple of things that I've noticed. There appears to be a lack of control. There appears to be incompetence. They're not sincere when they talk to you. You can tell when someone's speaking to you if they're sincere or not. There's this total culture of insincerity when they talk to you, and you can tell when someone's not genuine. And when they
Oh, I
speak,
know.
John Kirby speaks, it's like he's not genuine and sincere. He's just blasting off talking points. And I think this last election showed everybody's sick to death of it. And my fear, my friend, is one of these is going to fly maybe in a rural area over here on the Eastern Shore, say, and it's going to scare the bejesus out of somebody. It flies low, and someone is going to take my fear. Someone's going to take a shot at it, and God forbid it's a small private plane. And if something like that happens, I would blame the person that did it. I blame the fear caused by the lack of communication and clarity from this administration. It just pissed me off to no end. I am furious.
Well, I am going to try to maintain um, the advice of our third president, which is how much pain have cost us the evils that have never happened. In other words, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to assume anything bad necessarily. But dude, I hear you, man. I mean, this is pure insanity. And it is at the doorstep of our federal government, which ultimately rests with the president. This is, I'm telling you, dude, I don't know where this leads as far as this particular event, what is happening. I tend to think that this is a program by the government uh, being either run by private contractors or whatever for some purpose. But God only knows why they have not explained that. This is some wild stuff, and I honestly believe the residual impact of this. Biden's going to be gone in 36 days, but the residual impact of this is going to be long felt. I think this they've been playing games a long time. This is not one to play a game with, and we'll see. I don't know.
And I get to who the heck is in charge. You say Biden will be gone in 40 days or whatever it is. He's gone now. I haven't seen him make a statement
I
about
know.
this. The president's supposed to calm the waters and things like this. I'm going to tell you, I am furious. Now, when you
I
mentioned
know.
War of the Worlds going back to 1939, long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I used to be in broadcasting, and we studied that broadcast, and it was sort of like it was on the radio. There wasn't television or internet back then, uh, and it was the theater of the mind. It was AI of the time, and people, especially in New Jersey, where the play or the broadcast took place, thought it was real. And the aftermath of that, people lost their minds because they were scared, just like they're scared right now. And I see these commentators on television kind of laugh it off that everybody's a UFO
Yeah.
kook or
Yeah.
whatever.
No.
But
Yeah. I don't like that.
I'm mad. I'm pissed, and there's a lot of people like you and I out there that are reasonable people that don't understand what's going on. There's a total lack of control, and God help us if something bad happens, somebody shoots one of those things down. Maybe it's radioactive, maybe it's full of some kind of fuel, or maybe it's a private airplane. But they got to get a hold of this, or something's going to happen. That's my fear.
Well, and that gets back to why are they not just being honest with us, our government? And I can understand at times there are reasons to withhold information. But this isn't one of those situations. There's something right in front of us, and we got to know. We got to know something. And there's not, but a curious aside from War of the Worlds, when Orson Welles conjured up that idea, it was an hour-long program. And
Mhm.
and what it was based on was a story of by H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds. We were being invaded by Martians, and blah blah blah. And he stipulated up front of the hour broadcast that this is theater. This is
Right.
a reenactment. This is not actually happening. However, if you tuned in 5-10 minutes into the show, you missed that part.
You
And
did.
in the same way, and that created some real problems. In the same way, our government not communicating with us honestly um, is creating a lot of problems. And I don't know who were making the individual decisions for, like John Kelly. He's nothing but a mouthpiece. Uh, he's not a very good liar. There are some great liars out there. He's not one of the better ones. And we're losing faith quickly as a party. I mean, as a country. And we saw the results, and I think this encapsulates, in a lot of ways, the results of the election in November. People are tired of being conned. People are tired of being told we're tired of being told Donald Trump's Hitler for 7 years. And then finally, it just, the boy cried wolf one too many times. And I'm telling you, our government is playing a game here, and it is not a healthy game. Get with it. And I don't have a clue what the motivation behind it is.
And I have government experience, and I get some things, that the public at large may not get, and try to understand. And if this was a one-off, maybe 2 or 3 evenings of this going on, fine. This is every night for a month or more, and I assume the worst and hope for the best. And that I think a lot of people are assuming the worst. If they came out and said, "Look, folks, this is a government program. We're testing a few things and we're seeing how it goes. Can't tell you what it's about, but there's no fear that you are in any danger." I get it. I really do. Now I got to look at this like maybe this is a dry run for us to attack Iran, or it's a dry run by Iran or one of our enemies to attack us. If it's not, they're saying it's not one of ours, and they said it's not a foreign agent. I don't know what to believe. You got to tell me something. You got to tell the public something, because we assume the worst. I haven't heard one positive message come out. It says, "Don't you worry, everything's fine." They try to say that, but they parse words, and that ticks me off to no end. Everybody's tired of sentences and words that you could take either way, and then they come back a week later and say, "No, I didn't say that. I used this weasel phrase to get me out of what I intended to say, and now I'm telling you I said something different." Brother, I'm angry. This
Well,
I watched this. This is the worst episode in this century. It's terrible.
Well, I hear you. And, a week ago, we were already into it pretty good. And, you and I follow all this stuff. So,
Right.
we're into it. And a week ago, I still wasn't really worried because, but, as each day goes by and I get lied to, just like you, I get angrier. But I also get a little more concerned. What actually is this? And so my level of concern is much higher today than it was 2 days ago, certainly a week ago, and it's going to continue as each day goes by to elevate. And I can't help but think I'm not that different from the average schmo. And so if the American public day after day after day is getting more and more concerned, and the government is turning a deaf ear and just blowing the same empty words at us, Something's got to give. I mean, these people, let me explain something. We're the boss. Government works for us, the people, not the other way around. And if those idiots don't start grasping that concept, they will be receiving the consequences of that.
And I really don't want to sound like I'm being partisan. I think there's a lot of Democrats that are really mad at this. That's why you have people like Governor O'Malley running for the head of the DNC saying, folks, stuff's got to change. And he's absolutely right. I don't see this as partisan. I see this as a collection of people in an administration that have the wrong theory. They deal in abstract worlds and theoretical worlds and not the real world. And if they're not hearing the anger on the ground from the people, then God help us. I mean, we
Oh,
got
I
40
agree
days
with
to
you.
go. If you don't think the Russians and the Chinese and the Iranians and Koreans, North Koreans are seeing this and the disarray that's going on, that doesn't bode well. And that's another reason why I'm angry. Because if I was an enemy, boy, the next 40 days, and I see the way this administration is performing with its own people, that's a window of opportunity that should not exist.
Well, and I agree. This is not a partisan thing at all. This is um, whatever it is, at the root, at the core, are people that have never been held to account. And they believe within them that they don't need to be held to account. And ultimately, we are all responsible for our own behavior. We all will ultimately be held to account. And tomorrow always comes. And whoever is behind this,
Mhm.
whatever this is, those people will be held accountable.
People fear that President Trump's going to take retribution for a bunch of different things. I think he's going to take a different approach. Maybe I'm wrong, but on this issue, like they
This
said,
has
the
nothing
X
to do with,
Files,
yeah,
like they said, the X Files, the truth is out there, and this has got to
yeah.
be looked into. I don't know if it's cover up or incompetence, but it's one or the other. And someone's got to be held to account because people are unnecessarily angry, scared, and worried. Brother, I don't know what else to say.
I don't know what else to say either. And you're absolutely right. And as you say, the truth, as it always does, will out. Remember, we didn't know who, remember back to Watergate, and Deep Throat was the confidential source for
Right.
Woodward and Bernstein. And it wasn't till nearly 40 years later we found out who Deep Throat was. Um, that's just an example of the concept that it's so much easier just to tell the truth anyway, because then you don't have to remember a whole bunch of different stories and blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, two things. Tomorrow always comes and the truth will out. And let's have that day come sooner rather than later.
It's just like, and I was angry back then. We went into Iraq because there were quote unquote weapons of mass destruction. The truth came out. There were no weapons of mass destruction. And we spent a lot of treasure and a lot of blood, and a lot of good people were killed over that lie. It's not Democrats, it's not
Yep.
Republicans. It's ingrained incompetence. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't serve the public well. I don't know what else to say. I've said that twice, and I'll just leave it at that, brother.
No, I hear you, man. And let me tell you something, and I ain't perfect at all. And, do I stretch it every now and then? I guarantee I do. But the most fun I've ever had in my life is when I told the truth. And it's sometimes frightening. But we're getting there. We will find out, brother. And you and I are both very, very angry right now. And as you can see, I'm trying to control myself, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job because when act on
Cool.
my anger in my entire life, nothing good has ever happened. So we will get through this and we will get it resolved. But brother, it's just so unnecessary to have gone through this. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm glad you were the voice of reason with me and sort of cut me off the ledge. That's, brother, I appreciate that. I really do. Um, we'll see what happens over the weekend. We'll see what happens going into next week. Hopefully, this will come to a good conclusion. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I think it will. And let's just end it right there, brother.
All right. Goodbye, Patrick.
Goodbye.